Hey Amir. Thank you for coming over on such a short notice.
Hey Diana, I always love to be helpful. Please tell me, what is the emergency?
I was assigned to facilitate our client's annual shareholders meeting. To my disadvantage, even though I have a general idea what needs to be done. I have never done it before. As an attorney, I know you have a lot of experience in finance and corporate law. In addition to, you also facilitated many different events, and I was hoping we can do it together. What do you think?
Sure. Would love to.
Thank you so much. I did some research and highlighted a few things. Let's go over it and you will fill in the blanks.
Sounds like a plan. Let's start.
Let's go closer to the TV so we can go over my list.
Okay.
Let's start with the basics. Why do companies need to run annual shareholders meeting?
Excellent question, Diana. The requirement to conduct an annual shareholder meeting is required by law and governed by various federal and state laws, as well as by rules of the Securities Exchange Commission and NASDAQ. The laws and requirements applicable to a company or organization will depend on its location and how it's organized.
Yes, you are right. For example, under its business organizations statutes, Florida addresses requirements for remote communications and failure to hold the meeting.
That's correct.
I would also add that these meetings also provides an opportunity and platform for the management to apprise and review progress of the corporation, the financial condition of the business, necessary changes needed by the corporation, appointment of directors, and any other relevant important information which must be conveyed to shareholders. All important decisions are discussed during the shareholders' meetings and vote for the important issues related to the future of the company.
Excellent additions.
Here are the highlights I would like to go over. First, annual shareholders meeting rules, general overview. Then what gets documented in the annual minutes. Third, how to create a minutes of a meeting. Fourth, task list of planning an annual meeting. And how to create an agenda for a planning meeting. We can do it in any order you prefer.
I think you hit all of the items awesome.
I also created a more detailed list there on the whiteboard, if you would like to work of it, or we can just go over this one.
I think we can work of this one. Let's start with annual shareholders meeting rules, general overview.
Okay.
You need to know that rules and guidelines dictating the format of an annual shareholder meeting should be drafted by the board of directors and adopted by the shareholders. These guidelines should address issues such as parliamentary procedure, time limits for speakers, procedures for recognizing shareholders who wish to speak, and if cameras or other recording devices will be allowed.
Interesting.
Furthermore, one of the main purposes for an annual shareholder meeting is the election of the board of directors for the coming year. All shareholders, regardless of number of shares owned, are allowed to vote for board positions. Nominations for board positions can be submitted by shareholders who meet certain requirements, such as those defined by the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Please go on.
The company secretary is responsible for keeping the minutes of the meeting, recording voting results, maintaining attendance records, and generally keeping track of everything that happens at an annual shareholder meeting. This information is compiled into a written format and must be made available to all shareholders, as well as the general public.
Yes, you are right. All this information need to be recorded in the meeting minutes and should be mailed to all shareholders. And because all officers and directors must sign the minutes of the annual meeting, keep them brief and starkly accurate to minimize discussion and possible disagreement over who said what.
Love it. Next, I would like to talk about task list of planning an annual meeting.
Agreed.
First you need to do is select a space. Annual meetings can take place in hotels, convention centers, or historic sites with meeting facilities. A more affordable option might be an auditorium at the corporate headquarters.
Got it.
Next is setting the agenda for an annual meeting might fall to a company's in-house events team or an outside event planning service. In either case, planners will need to compile lists of presentations and events. Determine how long each will last, and create a schedule for the day that attendees and presenters can use to set their own schedules.
So, the agenda might include preparation in the days leading up to the annual meeting or a timeline for getting the latest financial information to the participants who will need to present and discuss it. Right?
Yes, you were absolutely right. Next is plan presentations. Most annual meetings include some form of presentation, whether a straightforward presentation of financial data or a preview of a new product line. Individuals within a company who give presentations must prepare and rehearse their roles in the annual meeting.
Agreed.
And the last one is issue invitations. Once a company's event planners know when and where the annual meeting will take place, they must issue invitations. Invitations for shareholders might include proxy ballots so those who don't attend can still vote on key issues, such as new members of the board of directors or proposed acquisitions. Another set of invitations inform media outlets of the event, giving the press an opportunity to attend.
Amir, you mentioned the proxy ballots. I have an example of the form that could be sent out. Next, I would like to talk about how to create an agenda for a planning meeting.
A well-written meeting agenda organizes and outlines the meeting's required points of conversation. It highlights important information and helps attendees determine their roles and responsibilities within the meeting. For a planning meeting, the agenda is especially important as it helps to ensure that all planning aspects are addressed within the designated meeting time.
I really would like to unpack step by step how to create a meeting agenda and what gets documented in the annual minutes, but I think we should have a separate discussion.
Sure, let me know when you would like to meet again.
Before we go, let me summarize what I learned today.
Go right ahead.
Few necessary steps are essential to organize shareholders' meetings, and they include annual general meeting and notification dates, which may be recorded in the bylaws of the company or fixed by the directors each year. Setting up the agenda of the meeting. Such agenda may include important decisions, such as appointment of directors, approving corporation status, approval of annual budget and audited accounts, and so on.
Go on.
Arrange location for the meeting place. Prepare notices to be mailed to the shareholders, directors, and other officials about the annual general meeting. Prepare a list of personnel who are legally entitled to be notified. The notification includes, other than mailing notice of annual general meeting, the proxy card, agenda, and important business to be transacted along with brief explanations. Secretary or other official must be available to take the minutes of the meeting, which are legally required, and same should be tabulated and distributed among the shareholders.
Diana, you were the best student ever. Unfortunately, I need to go.
Thank you, Amir, for your help. I'll call you later on and we will continue our discussion.
Great, see you later.